I built my world on the laughter of my kids and the love of my wife, but it slipped through my fingers like sand, piece by silent piece. Hey, I'm James. This is my story. 8 years ago, my life felt like a dream I didn't deserve. I had Sarah, my wife of 10 years, and our 4 incredible kids, Emma, Liam, Sophie, and Noah. We weren't rich, far from it. I worked as a warehouse supervisor in a small town outside Seattle, and Sarah had a desk job at a marketing firm. Money was tight, but we made it work. Our evenings were filled with chaos and joy, helping Emma with math homework, chasing Liam around the backyard, reading bedtime stories to Sophie and Noah. We'd collapse on the couch after the kids were asleep, share a cheap bottle of wine, and laugh about the day. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. I thought we were unbreakable. I was wrong. 5 years ago, everything changed. Sarah got a big promotion at work, a senior account manager role. It came with a hefty raise, but also insane hours. She was thrilled, and I was proud. She'd always been ambitious, and seeing her shine felt like a win for both of us. Around the same time, my company hit a rough patch. They cut my hours, leaving me with part-time shifts. Suddenly, I was the one picking up the kids from school, making peanut butter sandwiches, and wrestling with laundry piles. I didn't mind at first. I loved being there for Emma's soccer practices, Liam's endless questions about dinosaurs, Sophie's finger painting disasters, and Noah's obsession with trucks. But Sarah saw it differently. She'd come home late, exhausted, her eyes scanning the house like a health inspector. If the dishes were still in the sink or the kids' toys were scattered, she'd get this look. Disappointment mixed with something sharper, like I'd let her down. "I'm trying, Sarah," I'd say, wiping my hands on a dish towel. "It's not easy keeping up with 4 kids all day." She'd sigh, mutter something about me not pulling my weight, and head to the bedroom. I'd stand there, feeling like I'd failed a test I didn't know I was taking. The tension grew like a slow leak we couldn't patch. Sarah's new job demanded more. Late nights, weekend calls, business trips. I tried to step up at home, but nothing was ever enough. One night, I spent hours scrubbing the kitchen, cooking her favorite chicken parmesan, and setting up a movie night with the kids. I thought it'd remind her of the old days, when we'd all pile on the couch with popcorn and laugh until our sides hurt. She walked in at 9 p.m., barely glanced at the spread, and said she felt sick. "I just need to lie down," she mumbled, heading to our room. I brought her a glass of water, asked if she needed anything, even offered to warm up some leftovers. She barely looked at me, her phone glowing in her hand. I went back to the kids, forcing a smile as we watched Spider-Man without her. That night, something in me cracked. I didn't know it then, but it was the beginning of the end. Over the next 2 years, things got worse. Sarah's hours didn't let up, and my job was a revolving door of part-time shifts and layoffs. I'd pick up extra work when I could, but with her schedule, someone had to be there for the kids. Money was a constant fight. "We need more, James," she'd say, her voice sharp. If I took on extra shifts, she'd complain I wasn't home enough. If I stayed home, she'd say I wasn't contributing. "Figure it out," she'd snap when I pointed out the catch-22. I tried. God, I tried. I applied for better jobs, stayed up late cleaning, made sure the kids were fed and happy. But her anger was a storm I couldn't outrun. She started picking fights over nothing, spilled juice, a forgotten trash day, the way I folded towels. I'd apologize, thinking it'd calm her down, but it only seemed to make her angrier. "You're not even trying," she'd say, and I'd stand there wondering when I'd become the enemy. One night, I saw a text pop up on her phone. It was from a guy at work, Mark. Nothing explicit, just a "can't wait to see you tomorrow" with a winking emoji. My stomach dropped. I confronted her, my voice shaking. "What's going on, Sarah?" She shrugged, said he was just a friend, but her eyes didn't meet mine. I wanted to believe her, but the late-night texts kept coming. Then photos, then vague excuses about work drinks. I felt like I was drowning. I begged her to talk, to go to counseling, to fight for us. "I'm not happy," she said one night, her voice cold. "I want a divorce." My world stopped. I could barely breathe. I pleaded, told her we could fix this, that the kids needed us together, but her mind was made up. She was done. The divorce was quick, clinical. Washington's a no-fault state, so it was just paperwork, mediation, and splitting up our life like a business deal. I fought for joint custody, not to hurt her, but because I couldn't imagine losing my kids. Sarah didn't seem to care about the details, she just wanted out. I moved into a one-bedroom apartment across town, the kind of place that smells like old carpet and regret. The kids stayed with me half the time, but it wasn't the same. I'd lie awake at night, replaying every fight, wondering what I could have done differently. Meanwhile, Sarah was free. She'd post on social media about her new life, girls' nights, work trips, selfies with that glow I hadn't seen in years. It hurt, but I kept my head down and focused on the kids. Then I started getting calls. "James, can you take the kids tonight? I'm swamped." I'd drive over, find her house, a place that used to be ours, in chaos. Dishes piled up, laundry overflowing, trash bags by the door. I'd clean up, cook dinner, help with homework, all while Sarah was still at the office or out somewhere. The kids started telling me things. Emma, now 12, said she'd seen texts from Mark on Sarah's phone months ago. She stopped talking to her mom much, saying she wanted to live with me. Liam, Sophie, and Noah started saying the same. They'd cry when I dropped them off at Sarah's, clinging to me like I was leaving them forever. It broke my heart. Sarah tried to win them over with toys, new Legos, a Nintendo Switch, but it was like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. Their smiles faded fast. I kept showing up. Every time Sarah called, I was there. I'd pick up the kids, take them to school, make sure they had clean clothes. Sometimes I'd find dinner ready at her place, not because she'd cooked, but because I'd left something in the fridge the last time I was there. I'd tell her, "Call me if you need anything," and she'd nod, barely looking at me. One night, I noticed the trash hadn't gone out, again. I dragged the bins to the curb, the cold Seattle rain soaking through my jacket. As I turned to leave, I saw her watching from the window. For a second, I thought I saw the old Sarah, the one who'd laugh with me over burnt pancakes. But then she turned away. Months later, something shifted. Sarah started lingering when I picked up the kids, asking how I was, making small talk. One evening, as I was leaving her place, she stopped me at the door. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying. "James, can we try again?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. My chest tightened. Part of me wanted to run to her, to pretend the last 2 years never happened. But the memories flooded back. The coldness, the betrayal, the way she'd made me feel like I was nothing. Tears stung my eyes, and I couldn't stop them. "I don't know, Sarah," I said, my voice breaking. "You broke me. You broke us. I thought you'd see how much I loved you. But you signed those papers and walked away like it was nothing. That hurt more than anything." I told her I wasn't sure I could trust her again, not after everything. She nodded, tears streaming down her face, and I walked away, my heart heavy. Now, I'm focused on the kids. They're with me most of the time, and I'm trying to rebuild what we had. Emma's back to scoring goals at soccer. Liam's obsessed with Minecraft. Sophie's painting murals on her bedroom walls, and Noah still falls asleep with his toy truck in hand. Sarah's in therapy, or so she says. She's trying to be a better mom, but the kids are cautious, and I don't blame them. I don't hate her, I can't. She's their mother, and part of me will always love the woman she was before all this. But I'm not the same man anymore. I gave everything to save us, and it wasn't enough. Now, I'm finding peace in the small moments. Emma's shy smile when she scores, Liam's bad puns, Sophie's glitter-covered hugs, Noah's sleepy, "I love you, Daddy." That's my world now, and I'll protect it with everything I've got. Sarah's life unraveled after our divorce, a slow-motion wreck driven by guilt and addiction. She tried therapy briefly, but the shame of her choices was too heavy. Instead of facing it, she drowned it in alcohol, starting with wine at bars, then whiskey alone in her apartment. Her high-flying job crumbled as her drinking spiraled. She'd show up late, reeking of booze, and was fired within a year. With no income, she burned through savings, then leaned on shady loans, moving into a dingy studio with moldy walls and broken blinds. She'd call me, slurring, begging for cash or sobbing apologies, but I couldn't enable her. The kids, especially Emma, saw her decline. Sarah staggering at Liam's school play, forgetting Sophie's birthday. They stopped visiting, their trust shattered, her addiction worsened. Whiskey turned to pills, oxy from a dealer, then anything she could score. She'd pass out in her car, kids in the back seat during rare visits, until social services stepped in. I got full custody. Sarah didn't fight it, too lost in her haze. She drifted through toxic relationships, men who drained her money and spirit. By her 40s, she was unrecognizable, gaunt, trembling, living in shelters or crashing with strangers. She'd show up at Emma's college games, incoherent, until security escorted her out. Liam wrote her a letter, pleading for her to get clean, but she never responded. Rehab stints, 3, maybe 4, ended with her walking out, chasing the next high. Hospitals became her second home. Overdoses, infections, a broken arm from a fall. She was in and out, a ghost in a gown. Medicaid covered some, but debts piled up. She was arrested twice, once for possession, once for theft, serving short stints in county jail. The kids, now adults, distanced themselves, their memories of her tainted. I heard she moved to a nowhere town near Tacoma, working odd jobs, cleaning houses, bagging groceries, until her body gave out. At 49, she collapsed in a bar, liver shot from years of abuse. She spent her final months in a charity ward, tubes in her arms, no visitors but a tired nurse. She died alone, clutching a photo of the kids from better days. Emma and Liam went to her funeral. Sophie and Noah didn't. They mourned the mom they'd lost long before her heart stopped, a woman who'd traded love for a bottle and never found her way back.